Welcome to Any Way You Slice It, where we talk about your identity and purpose in the kingdom of God. Come join author Ricardo Richardson as we slice our way to the core of God's Word to experience the beautiful and transformational discovery of who we are and why we exist, no matter how we slice it.
Today's message is, why did you doubt? Beloved family, our text says, but when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified and said, "It's a ghost," and they cried out in fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Take heart, it is I. Do not be afraid." And Peter answered him, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." He said, "Come." So Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water and came to Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried, "Lord, save me." Jesus immediately reached out his hand and took hold of him, saying to him, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" Matthew 14:26-23. Every thinking person has struggled with the problem of doubt. It is something that naturally creeps into our mind. This is why we have to build our mind and faith by hearing what thus says the Lord. Paul says in Romans 12:2, "And be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God." Did you know that your mind can be completely transformed? Yes, you can overcome the fears, doubts, and misgivings by reprogramming your mind from listening to the Word to listening to King Jesus Christ and God the Father. For if we don't continually renew our minds by the Word of God, then we will conform to the pattern of this world. And what is the world's pattern? It is to prove what is not that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. The Satan wants our minds to be against the mind of Christ. He plants thoughts in our subconscious minds that reveal themselves when we least expect them. We could be doing something and all of a sudden a thought manifests in our mind and we wonder, where did that thought come from? This is why Paul says in 2 Corinthians 10:5, to hold every thought captive and to destroy arguments and every lofty opinion raised against the knowledge of God. That means that we have a chance to do something about all thoughts that are not well-pleasing to God before they enter our hearts and become a part of us. When the Bible speaks about the heart, it is really referring to the mind in all forms, specifically the subconscious and conscious mind. We have experiences that we go through in life that have become deep-rooted and are part of us. This is where we put away traumatic experiences in our lives so that we don't have to deal with them consciously. In essence, is a part of us subconsciously. Even scientists agree that we have thousands of thoughts in our mind every day. Who we are is shaped moment by moment by the thoughts we choose to let into our mind and our heart. So now we can relate to when King Solomon says, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he." In our seed message today, we see the disciples are on a boat on the seas, or in other words, in an unstable situation. For at any moment, the storm can change the calm seas into rough waters. But the text says they saw King Jesus walking on the sea, and they cried out in fear. Now, I don't want us to miss this. The disciples were afraid because they saw someone that they did not recognize in an unstable condition doing something that they could not do themselves. Jesus was walking on the water, and Christ understood that we cannot allow fear to enter our mind because then we open way to doubt. That's a word for somebody right there. Listen to Peter as he says, "Lord, I doubt that it's you because I am fearful right now. But if it is you, command me to come to you in this unstable, shaky situation we are in." Jesus says, "Come." But as Peter begins to walk on the water, As he gets right close to Jesus, he takes his eyes off him and looks at the situation and the environment, and fear grips him and he starts to sink. Wait a minute. Peter got so close to Jesus that he could touch him, yet he took his eyes off him. Listen, those who are called to ministry and are doing the work of God, even though you get right close to the kingdom of God, you can still begin to take your eyes off the kingdom, off the prize, Paul says, and start to look at your situation, the circumstances, the difficulties in your life, the roadblocks, the accusations, the trials, and start to sink. You are right there. Keep your eyes on King Jesus Christ, because you're close enough to touch him, and he's close enough to touch you. When we take our eyes off Christ, the Word of God, and start to look at our situation, the situation, trouble, crisis, and environment appears bigger than God. We start to doubt God, and we begin to sink in it. King Jesus grabs Peter and says, "Why did you doubt?" C.S. Lewis, who was an atheist before he was converted to Christianity, acknowledged that just as the Christian has his moments of doubt, so does the atheist. He wrote, "Believe in God, and you will have to face hours when it seems obvious that this material world is the only reality. Disbelieve in God, and you will face hours when this material world shouts the glory of God, that he made the heaven and the earth." Peter saw the material world around him. He looked at the storm and waves of the sea and started to doubt that he was capable of walking on that which materially should cause him to sink. King Jesus is asking you and me this morning, if we are allowing the material world, our health, our finances, our family, our relationships, our struggles, the battle in our mind to cause us to sink under pressure, why are we doubtful? Put your faith and trust in the one who is faithful. Do not doubt. Walk on your situation, no matter how stormy or unstable it may be. For the just shall not only walk by faith, but they shall live by faith. Much love.